Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's video, we are going to continue our look at the Negro and Winter League baseball cards that were produced beginning in 1910 and running through the early 50s when the Negro League started to deteriorate as Major League Baseball had begun full integration at that point. So again, as we've done in previous episodes, I'm going to read you brief biographies for the ball player first, and then take a look at the various cards that were produced over the years. As usual, there was not any Negro League baseball cards ever produced in the U.S., so everything we're going to look at will be from Latin America. Those countries would include Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Venezuelan cards. The first player we're going to take a look at, and this episode is primarily going to cover today because he has many cards out there, is going to be Hall of Fame outfielder Willard Brown. Brown spent basically his entire Negro League playing career with the Kansas City Monarchs. He began in the mid to late 1930s, played with them all the way through the 40s, and was signed by St. Louis Browns by Bill Veeck in Major League Baseball, and spent a very brief time in the majors with them for a month or two, and unfortunately did not have a fantastic start to his Major League career, and they did not give him a very long leash, and he was cut from the team after a couple of months and released, and unfortunately never got another chance in Major League Baseball. So Brown again began his Negro League career in 1935, ran all the way through 1950. As we said, primarily Kansas City Monarchs. He was there from 35 to 43, had 2 years of military service, and then was back with the Monarchs from 46 to 51. Aside from that brief stint in 1947 with the St. Louis Browns MLB club. He also spent time in the Mexican League in 1940 and spent a number of winters in the Dominican Republic throughout the 40s and into the early 50s. Brown also spent, in addition to his St. Louis Browns brief stint there, he spent time in the U.S. minor leagues as well from 1953 to 1956. So his career spanned about 20 years total from the mid-30s through the mid-50s. He was the premier home run hitter during the 40s in black baseball, in Negro League baseball. Also very fast and excellent defensive outfielder. Nickname was AC Hombre. He played winter ball in Puerto Rico. Had a lifetime .350 batting average there, and won batting titles between 1946 and 1950 with averages of .392, .432, and .353, and had established the all-time home run record in Puerto Rico in the winter of 1947 to 48 with a total of 27 round trippers. Brown came up to the majors at the same time as Hank Thompson, who was a fellow Negro League star. Both of them were signed by Bill Veeck. And Brown's brief Major League career included 21 games where he batted .179 with 1 home run. So that's a brief bio on Willard Brown, one of the all-time great Negro League outfielders, home run hitters, and all-around stars. Now we're going to take a look at his extensive checklist of cards. So Willard Brown's rookie card, his very first card appearance, is going to be here. This is his 1948 to 49 Toleteros card. This was a Puerto Rican Winter League card issue. These were produced Black and white player images with the name at the bottom. The photo extends all the way out to the borders of the card on both sides and on the top. So the only border is on the bottom where the name appears. These were used for a playing card game. So on the back, there'll be card numbers which have duplicates within the game. So the card number on the back is not Willard Brown's card number. It's just part of the game. There's also advertising on the back for the Toleteros tobacco brand. So Willard Brown rookie, 4849 Toleteros. Very tough card to find. Pop reports on those are probably around a dozen or so. Most of them tend to get graded as either authentic or ones because the scrapbook removal from albums tends to ruin the backs of these cards most of the time, as albums were issued in conjunction with the set, and most Cuban baseball fans would have stuck these into these albums, glued them in there. Second card we're going to look at for Willard Brown is going to be also a Toleteros card. This one is a 1949 to 50 Toleteros. This one pictures Brown. It's a different image, black and white. This one has borders on all sides. And the name again printed at the bottom border. Second year Puerto Rican Winter League card of Brown. Okay, the third one is it's actually from the same series. It's the 49 to 50 Toletero set again. There was two different images or two different cards of Willard Brown produced that year. That one is also black and white, also border surrounding on all sides, with Brown's name printed at the bottom of the card. All three of these are very scarce. Next Willard Brown card. He had a card produced in 1950, which I don't have an image of it. It was produced in the Dominican Republic. These are appearing in the standard catalog of vintage baseball cards, which was put out during the 2000s and 2010s, no longer produced for the past 8 years or so now. But the Dominican Republic cards tended to be a duotone card, usually printed in one color. They came in different colors, though, and printed on a white thin cardboard stock. And unfortunately, I don't have an image of that, but 1950 Dominican Republic Willard Brown card. Next one we're going to look at is the third year Toleteros. This is the 1950 to 51. Willard Brown, this is the only Toleteros issue that was done in color. 50-51, the first two were black and white. So this has a nice color image of Brown. Borders on all sides with the name printed at the bottom again. And the back also has the Toleteros tobacco advertising on there. On the last one on this page here, this was also put out in 50-51. It's another Toleteros Willard Brown card. This one was a part of a set called Toleteros in Action. So it pictures ball players in action shots, either swinging, running, fielding on the field during Puerto Rican Winter League. Again, it's also 50-51, same as the last Toleteros that we looked at. Both of these issues are very hard to find, probably tougher than the 48s or the 49s. And this one has Brown, it looks like after hitting a home run, being congratulated, rounding the bases by his coach. I believe Brown also has one or two other different image cards within this set as well, which we're going to see in a minute. Actually, he has three others. So next ones we're going to look at, these are the three on top here, 1, 2, 3. These are all the 50-51 Toleteros in action Willard Brown images. Many of them, again, appear to be him being congratulated by teammates after home runs. One of them appears that he fielded a ball, maybe at shortstop, and is kind of half sitting on the ground after the play. So three more 50, 51 Toleteros in action, Willard Browns. Pop on these is definitely under 10. Okay, next one we're going to look at is a Caramello Fortuna, another winter ball card for Willard Brown. I've never actually seen one of these in person. Population on this is probably only a couple in existence. And it looks like a black and white image. Really nice photo of Brown there. And a super tough card to find. Next one is going to be 51-52. So this would have been the year after the color Toleteros. This one is called Dania. We've looked at a few of these before. We looked at Raymond Brown last episode. So the Danias are tougher to find than Toleteros. Populations in the low single digits on these. This one has Brown in a nice batting stance. The only card I can think of that has him pictured batting. And nice color image, borders on all sides again. And the Dania set also had an in-action version. Unfortunately, I don't have an image for that one. It would be in the spot right here next to the regular Dania Brown card. Again, no image for that, but it's also 51-52 Dania in action. So another Puerto Rican Winter League card. Okay, next one we have here is from Venezuela. This is the last Willard Brown card we're going to look at. So this is a 1953-54 Venezuelan League card. This is pasted in an album. Pictures a headshot portrait of Brown with his name at the bottom. And a really nice clear image. These are super rare. I've seen an album once with almost a complete set pasted in it. I've never seen another individual Brown card, so there's probably only a couple of these that exist. And a super tough Venezuelan League card for Brown. So a lot of options out there compared to most of the other Negro League players in terms of cards for Willard Brown. Okay, next player moving on that we're going to look at he's a real early Cuban baseball player. He's Luis Bustamante. Luis began his career at the very beginning of the 20th century. He began in 1904, so this would be pre-Negro League official baseball days. So these guys would have been playing barnstorming teams at this point that traveled around the country. As I said, he's from Cuba, so his early days were spent primarily playing ball in Cuba during the season. He was a middle infielder, so he played shortstop, second base, third base, and a little bit of outfield. He played for the All Cubans team here in the U.S. in 1904, 1905, and played for the Cuban Stars from 1907 to 1913. That was a club that starred Jose Mendez, the Hall of Fame Cuban pitching great. It says little shortstop regarded by Philadelphia Giants manager Sol White as the best shortstop of the early years of black baseball before Pop Lloyd's arrival. He was the leadoff batter for the Cuban Stars in 1907 and was hitting third in 1910. He was among the first group of 10 players elected to the Cuban Baseball Hall of Fame in 1939. Primarily known for his superior defense. Sadly, the smooth fielding Cuban developed a drinking problem that ultimately led to his death at an early age. So, not a lot of info on Luis Bustamante, but one of the early great shortstops in Cuban baseball and Negro League baseball history. So, let's see what we have for him in the way of cards. He played very early, so there's not going to be a lot of cards for him. So we've got two. It looks like there's two. So we've got the 1909 Cabañas card, which is the one with the red borders here. This was produced in Cuba. This was a tobacco product, and pictures him in an oval in the center with his name at the bottom. The H's in the corner stand for Habana, which was the team he played on during that 1909 season in Cuba. These are super rare. Populations on these are usually a couple, um, two, three, something like that, and obviously extremely hard to find. And the accompanying set the year after the Cabana set was a Punch cigar set. I don't have an image of the Bustamante card from that set, unfortunately, but he was in there, the same Habana team. Those are black and white images. Basically, it's a real photograph that was pasted on a cardboard backing, kind of similar to the old Judge N172 cards. In almost every case, that cardboard backing is no longer attached to the card if you're lucky enough to ever find one. You'll never find one with a backing. There's only two or three or four total cards from the Punch set that exist with the back still attached. I believe four is probably the correct number. So those are the only two known Luis Bustamante baseball cards. Okay. Next one we're going to take a look at is going to be, whoops, Thomas, better known as Pee Wee Butts, Butts, Negro League player from 1938 to 1950. He was a small shortstop, again, middle infielder, similar to Bustamante. Spent most of his Negro League career with the Baltimore Elite Giants, which is where Roy Campanella played during the early to mid 1940s. So he was teammates with Campy, 1939, and then 39 to 42, and then 44 to 51. And it looks like he probably missed a couple of years in between with World War II, with the military service. So it says here he was an outstanding defensive shortstop, selected to the All-Star squad for the Negro League 6 years in a row. Or he missed 1 year in between, 1944 and then 46 to 50. So 6 All-Star appearances for Butts. And then he continued in Negro Leagues during the 50s, playing with the Birmingham Black Barons and Memphis Red Sox, and finally retired after the 1955 season. So a good decade, more than a decade and a half career, including some extensive Negro League time after integration. So we're going to look at, Butts has several cards here we're going to take a look at. Looks like about 7 of them. So the first one we're going to look at here is a 1948 to 49 Toleteros. Again, these are the black and white cards without the borders. Name at the bottom, printed in Puerto Rican Winter League. We talked about them. I'm not going to go into all the same details again. Next to that is the 49-50 Toleteros, which is the next season, also Puerto Rico. Exact same image, just cropped a little bit differently. This one has the borders. On the side of that is the 49-50 Toleteros again, similar to Willard Brown. There was 2 different cards produced for Butts during that season by Toleteros, so completely different image here on this one. Black and white again. And then similar to Willard Brown, we have in color, we have the 50-51 Toleteros in action series. We have 3 appearances for Butts. Actually, a 4th one down in the corner here as well. So a total of 4 Dania in action cards for Pee Wee Butts. Nice assortment there. And those are all very low pop, probably only a couple known. Okay, and that's going to be it for him. And I believe we have one more player to look at today, which is going to be Chicotín Cabrera, another Cuban baseball legend. Played in the Negro Leagues, not a lot of years in the U.S. Negro Leagues, 1947 to 50. He was a slugging first baseman. Played for the New York Cubans all four Negro League seasons, 47 to 50, and also played a number of years in the U.S. minor leagues. Never made it to the majors. Played in 51 and then 54, 55, and 56 in the U.S. minor leagues. So 1947, he broke in with the champion New York Cubans, batted 352 as a rookie, as the team won the Negro National League pennant and the Negro World Series. 48, 49. This is Cuban winter ball here. 48, 49. Beginning that season, he had batting averages consecutive years of 314, 330, 342, 298, 314, 316, and 296. In the U.S., he batted 333 in the Negro Leagues in 1948 and 377 in 1949. So outstanding batting average hitter and star first baseman, Chicotin Cabrera. I believe I mentioned already he's from Cuba as well. So we're going to look at the Chicotin Cabrera cards now. And there's four cards. Three of them I have pictures of. So the first one we're going to look at is a 1948 to 49 right here in the middle on the bottom. That card is from a set called El Indio. I don't know if we mentioned that set with any other players yet. But the El Indio set was from Cuba, one of the scarcest Cuban sets that was made. Like I said, 48, 49. These have sort of a brownish tint color on the borders and the image. It's real photographs. The El Indio advertising on the back. And again, the vast majority of these have a lot of back damage due to album scrapbook removal. So 48, 49 El Indio rookie card for Chicotin Cabrera. Okay, next one, 4950, is then called Acebo y Cia, another Cuban baseball card. These were little tiny square cards, kind of similar to the Bagler chocolates from 1930. Unfortunately, I don't have an image for Cabrera from this set, but those are very scarce as well. Okay, the next one over here is a oversized, quite large premium called Alerta. That one is a 1949 to 50. That pictures Cabrera in a fielding pose over here for Marianao, which is another Cuban baseball club from winter ball. The Alerta premiums are hard to find. Not as rare as some of the other sets we talked about today, but not common at all. And the last card we're going to talk about for Cabrera, again, is going to be from Cuba. This one is a pretty scarce as well. This is 52 to 53 Victoria. Another Cuban baseball set that came with an album, so most of these have pretty bad damage as well. These are color cards, and a nice swinging pose for Chicotin Cabrera in that one. So that's going to wrap up today's episode for Negro and Winter League baseball card review. Got the chance to take a look at a lot of nice cards. Predominantly Willard Brown episode. Hope you enjoyed the tremendous amount of stuff he has out there. And he also has a few other things that'll be in the memorabilia section. He has a Dominican League postcard, but that's an oversize, and I did not include it in the regular card section here. But if you watch the Negro League memorabilia, Winter League memorabilia series that I do, we've already shown the Willard Brown 52-53 Dominican League postcard there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.